named Larry, was born on October 23rd, 1913.
To Francisca and Atameo Itliong in San Nicolas, in a beautiful village on the island of Luzon in the Philippines.
His parents were poor farmers who had little education. Larry only attended until the 6th grade. He learned about abogados, or
lawyers,
who help people with their problems. He imagined himself debating with others and helping poor people.
I want to be like that.
When Larry was 15, he decided to make his dreams come true. He told his father he was going to the United States.
Why do you want to go to America? I want to go to school.
But his father did not want him to leave.
You don't have my permission to go.
But Larry was stubborn. He had made up his mind.
I'm going anyway. I'll find the money to get there. My dream is to go to America.
He said his goodbyes to his family and friends. He boarded the steamship Empress of Asia with other young Filipinas and Filipinos. After 22 days, he arrived at Seattle, Washington.
He saw hundreds of Filipinos in stylish suits, hanging out, walking around the streets. Languages and in English. One of the older men showed Larry his rough, calloused hands.
We harvest grapes, onions, tomatoes, asparagus, potatoes, peaches, lettuce, celery, and more. The work is so hard. My back always hurts.
Larry felt like he was punched in the gut.
I attended the University of Washington and studied to become a lawyer, but I had to quit to earn money. We all worked in canneries or restaurants as house cleaners or servants. If you have brown skin, you can't get any other kind of job.
Is this the life in America?
After 2 weeks in Seattle, Larry harvested sugar beets in Montana. He worked with no days off. He worked with no breaks, no toilets, or clean drinking water. Sometimes he'd work 12 hours or more a day and had no days off.
When Larry worked for Fried Lettuce Farms, the white workers were asking for a 15-cent raise. The Filipino workers demanded a 5-cent raise. Until they got it, they refused to work. They agreed to go on strike.
A strike is when all the workers agree to stop working. Together they demand living wage and better working conditions. If the employee agrees with the workers' demands, the strike ends and the employees return to work.
After 3 weeks of strike, the Fried Lettuce Farm gave the white workers 10-cent raise. And the Filipinos did not receive a raise. Instead, they were replaced by
Scabs!
or strike breakers, and all the Filipinos lost their jobs.
We were only asking for 5 cents.
This experience taught Larry an important lesson.
After the lettuce strike, I went to Alaska to work in the salmon canneries with thousands of Filipinos and immigrant workers. Handa na, handa na. Okay. Ayan.
cleaning and canning salmon. And when the salmon was plentiful, he would work 23 hours a day and only had 1 hour of sleep. And for a growing teenager, being fed only seaweed, rice, and a small piece of salmon, he was always hungry.
I quit.
He walked 3 miles to the nearest town. Finally caught up with a foreman.
After speaking to him, he went back to the cannery and climbed on a chair.
My fellow workers, we are working like dogs and starving like dogs to make the cannery owners rich. We deserve to eat well. Isn't this the land of equality and justice? Workers have the right to form a union, to be treated fairly, paid the living wage. Together, they stand together to agree on demands for better working conditions and paying conditions.
When the summer ended, Larry went to California. He worked for the railroad. Canned sardines in San Pedro.
Harvested lettuce in Salinas. Cut and packed asparagus in Stockton. And went back to Alaska to work in the cannery.
Larry met Ernesto Mangawang, a leader of the Filipino cannery workers.
We have to be fighters for our people. We have to be able to stand on our own 2 feet and fight our battles. The best labor organizers are tolerant, fair, and believe in justice for all. To be like this, we would be.
Soon after, the Great Depression has gripped the nation. Millions of people lost their jobs. People blame the immigrants, especially the Mexicans and the Filipinos. Larry witnessed racism, segregation, or separation of people. His heart ached with sadness and anger at so much injustice all around him.
U.S. Congress passed 2 laws aimed at Filipinos. One law barred Filipinos from entering the United States. The other law, called the Repatriation Act, offered Filipinos a one-way ticket home to the Philippines, but they could never return to America. Welcome to America.
Filipinos could not become citizens. Nor could we vote, own land. We are treated like criminals in a land that we had once been thought the greatest country on earth.
Soon after,
I wanted to be a labor organizer, someone who inspired my fellow workers to join the union who fights for their rights.
After Larry and the Cannery Workers Union, Local 7 helped members gain better wages and better working conditions in the asparagus fields in Stockton. He learned that his friend, Ernesto Mangawang, was arrested. The U.S. government was trying to deport him.
They think we are dangerous because we want a different kind of government in which everyone is equal and poor and working people have as much power as the rich and powerful.
Ernesto took his case all the way to the Supreme Court, where he argued that the U.S. Constitution gave him the freedom to have his own beliefs about justice and equality. Ernesto Magawang won.
Yes!
Soon, Larry learned about the AWOC, Agricultural Workers Organizing Committee, and the AFL-CIO, American Federation of Labor Congress of Industrial Organizations.
Larry thought it over and agreed to join the union as an organizer. He soon met other union organizers. Dolores Huerta.
Gilbert Manila.
Cesar Chavez.
He then moved to Delano, California to lead the Filipino Great Strike Workers. One of the union bosses told him,
We heard that everybody depends on you, Larry. All the Filipinos depend on you.
Larry invited hundreds of the AWOC members and all the grape growers to meet at the Filipino Hall in Delano to negotiate wages, but the growers didn't show up. Bob Armington, a leader in the community, raised his hand.
I say that we move to vote on strike.
the crowd went silent.
Larry called out.
Those who are in favor, to stand up with their hand raised!
Raise your hand.
Raise your hand.
Everyone raise their left hand in the air.
It was unanimous! They were going on strike!
The next day, September 8th, the Great Delano Strike began. More than 2,000 of AWOC workers walked off the grape vineyards.
Well done, strike!
Their demand was simple. $1.40 per hour, 25 cents per box, and the right to form a union.
All the workers walked the vineyards across Delano, shouting and holding signs.
Larry knew that justice for the farm workers could be realized if the two biggest groups of farm workers, the Filipinos and the Mexicans, could unite.
He knew that if the two stood together in unity, also called as solidarity, they would be even stronger.
Larry went to see Cesar Chavez. In Delano, Cesar, Gilbert Padilla, and Dolores Huerta were building the NFWA, National Farm Workers Association. Larry asked Cesar to join the Filipinos on strike. The next year, the two unions became one. They picketed, they protested, they even persuaded grocery stores to stop carrying grapes from Delano.
No need for introduction, you're hearing, you know why. No dive into an era with the beats of low fi. Put my face in the book cause my people are profile. Erased from the books and my people are told lies. Sky's the limit, go fly, Cali green we go high. I mean back in 05, already knew I grow wise. Surprise with broke eyes, double dose of broke lies. He drove in those signs and losing hope it goes by. I got Bam to my left and Eric on right. Here to give a new America, like Eric on right. Try to take my title, never want to inherit the rights. Yeah, Tacloban City's finest, put me on the 5 list. Color up the lines cause I color like your iris. Hunger in my eyes, this is everything that I risk. Kill it with my tongue, every time I spit a free. But the work is never done, and believe I'll never leave. Cause I'm here, Get your hands in the air. Now the greatest is here. I'ma make this my year. Cause I'm finally here. Yeah, I'm finally here. Yeah, I'm finally here. If you call yourself a rapper, talk less and take notes. We sway cheap, respect those who pray, sleep, and next hope. We take beats to flex, talk finesse, please to bless those. They say please, they test hope. We say peace, but stay woke. We do catch space. Till the point I catch praise. Rhymes when I catch praise. Till it starts to cascade. Product of Mac Dre, Wu-Tang, and Kanye. Break beats on beat tapes and break necks. We press play. They say we from the slums where the heroes never won. But my people always sung. Brown faces to the sun. Still the Satan on my tongue. Fuck the spinning from the stations. I'm rotating around the sun. The access, my mattress. I pass out and pass this. I abstract the masses. Last like a practice. Back to back raps. Manila noir, bar for bar. Homie, check the repertoire. Bar with the rest is subpar. While it's at the bar. Cause I'm finally here. Put your hands in the air. Now the greatest is here. I'ma make this my year. Cause I'm finally here. Yeah, I'm finally here. Yeah, I'm finally here.
weren't asking for too much. If workers all over in America and all over the world can form unions, there's no reason why farm workers cannot organize themselves and bargain collectively with the farm growers for what is right, fair, and decent.
After 5 years of boycott and grape strike, millions of people donated money, food, and clothing. They began to care for farm workers.
And then finally, in 1970, more than 30 grape growers in Delano met with the UFW and agreed to a pay increase,
Yes.
a medical insurance plan, and control over certain pesticides.
This is a significant victory for the farm workers, for the members. So they were gathered together at the UFW headquarters in 40 acres to sign the contract.
For his entire life,
Larry Itliong worked to create a better union.
He and his fellow workers
Had walked a long journey for justice.